time. What up? We are having a good time. We are having a good time here. We are having a great time. Welcome back to the Mike Lenoci Show. We're here live in the studio. Week 2 is officially done. We just wrapped the Steelers and Browns game. What a little matchup between two sloppy teams. And we're going to get into all of that mess. But where do we even begin? We'll get into it. We'll get into it because you know I'm going to go hard on Anthony because I'm going to get hard with him. And I know that doesn't sound good and it sounds sexual. But we got a lot to talk about because Pats and Dolphins, great matchup last night. Always tight games when they play. But in the end, Mickey D outcoached Billy B. So, and I like the sound of Mickey D and Billy B.
Is that the first time you said that?
Yeah. Nice. Mickey D outcoaches Billy B. And that's really what it comes down to with two game-managing quarterbacks, if some people will say. But top of the hour, what do we go into? We go to Dion.
Yeah, baby.
Now, if you're not a fan of college football, that is okay. College football for me was I kind of peek at it. I see what FSU's doing. My almond however you say that word.
Barely beat BC. Great game with
tight
Boston
game.
College.
But I kind of peek at college. I like UM too. I see what the Florida teams are doing. That's how I've always been. But I am fully invested in college football because of Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is the closest thing to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something for men. It is a reality show for men because we got his kids. We got him. You got Lil Wayne showing up to a game. And
insane.
Guys, is Deion Sanders the biggest thing that's ever happened to college football? Some would argue yes, it is.
I think so. Dude, I watched one game Saturday, and it was this game.
Yeah. Why did you watch?
Because you want to see what's going on.
Because you want to see what this is about,
want to be part of it, yeah.
This is a marketing genius. This guy, if he's, you know what? He should just stop coaching and just have a reality show.
Yeah. It's insane.
But
I would watch that.
But this is the reality show.
Yeah. It's insane. You want to root for him. He's so, I hate using the word like articulate, but he's so, when he's addressing anybody, he's so, you watch his press conferences.
He's passionate.
He's so passionate, but he's so like present and just like very particular with everything he says to everybody. He remembers each reporter. Like, he's just like kind of the best guy.
Bro, he's up there. I would argue that Deion Sanders is up there with Shaquille O'Neal as one of the greater humans in our lifetime. There's certain people who you're like, whoa, this is cool that we got to have this character of a human in our life. Shaq is hilarious.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like Shaq, you have to like him because you're like, God, this is crazy. Yeah. What this guy is. Deion was out of the picture for a few years, just doing kind of always involved in the NFL a little here and there. But he has fully taken over college football. And if I had to bet, there's certain future bets that are interesting. You can bet that Tiger Woods' son will win a championship, a PGA championship. Mm-hmm. You can place that bet now, and I think he's only like 12 years old. You could place a bet that he will win one before he's 24. That's a Vegas bet.
Really?
Yes. You can bet future bets like that. I will bet right now that Deion Sanders is going to win a national championship within the next 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it would happen next year.
Yeah, he's 14.
You know what I mean? I would say it would happen next year.
It could, yeah.
Now,
but dude, this
I
could be the year
because
Alabama's
in the NFL in a few years.
Alabama's not even in the top 10. You got Texas. Texas could choke in the play. They could make a run this year. They're 19 now. They're not ranked
now.
Very
I'm
high.
buying that as a false alarm. Them making the playoffs is a false alarm.
But how do you do? They got to build. They got to just get a better schedule.
Well, they play USC in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's the test. So I mean, like, how bad does USC beat them? There's nobody is doubting. Everybody's on this Colorado thing, but nobody thinks they're beating USC. Let's not get out of hand.
It's at home though.
In Colorado.
It's in Colorado. Next week they play, or not
Oregon.
This week. They have a bye week, and then they play
Oregon.
In Oregon.
That's a tough game.
Tough game.
There's 2 games. Listen, if they beat Oregon, bro, if Colorado beats Oregon, do you understand This story, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. If Colorado beats Oregon in 2 weeks, all of a sudden Colorado and the Deion Sanders story becomes bigger than the NFL almost. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to compete with the NFL? The NBA kind of does it, but even look at the NBA right now. The NBA is so smart that they go, let's take a seat back right now. Let's take take a step back. It's the beginning of the NFL. We know we can't compete with the news. Don't drop anything. Let's wait on this Damian Lillard trade. Like, hey, why are all... If you guys... Listen, you don't have to believe in... I don't believe that games are fixed in the NBA or NFL, but you better believe that it's an entertainment company, both of them. Yeah. They strategically will make roster move. Things are like, there's no reason the Damian Lillard thing can't happen. They're waiting. They know how to get more. They want the attention to be on them in October when the season starts and NFL is in autopilot. So that being said, Deion beating Oregon going into USC, that could override any NFL story for the week. I mean, first of all, Deion's first week win, that first week, that was the headlines on most sports shows for a while. Yeah. Okay. And then even this week with the sunglasses, Deion was up there with a lot of the NFL stories. So if he beats Oregon, you'll see, man.
And so next year, I guess you could see them going all the way because
100%.
They go to the Big 12 next year.
But they also are going to get transfers. Yeah. Because if you're a great athlete who's playing behind someone, you're like, I'll go play over there.
Yeah. But dude, look at the rest of their schedule. So they got Oregon and USC, but then they just have the rest of the Pac-12, who's kind of good. I mean, Arizona State's kind of sucks. Stanford's not that great. But then they got UCLA, Oregon State.
It's not easy.
They got Washington State, Utah. These are all like...
Listen, the under-over, I mean, they went 1-11 this year. No, people thought they would be like a 4-7 team or however many.
But they thought Colorado would be that this year?
Yeah. Wow. Nobody thought going in that they were going to be... I think their over-under, I don't know if you could still look it up, was probably like 4.5 or 5 wins. So the fact that they're already at 2-0, 3-0, 2-0. 3-0. They're at 3-0. They're 3-0. And now they're going to be ranked top 15. Tomorrow we wake up and they're going to be a top 15 team. That's crazy. And then they're going to get destroyed by USC. Let's not get out of hand.
September 1st, guess what their over-under was?
4.5.
3.5.
So 3.5. There you go. Yeah. I told you it wasn't. That's why this is crazy.
They can get that next week, 2 weeks.
They're easily going to break that. Wow. They're at 3-0. They're going to get one more win for sure. But my point is, they're going to get smacked down by USC. Let's not get so delusional. The point with USC is, can they keep up with USC? Can they at least be in the game? Is it going to be 63-21, or is it going to be 45-32? That's the difference. If they can stay in the same camp as them, if they're in the if it's the fourth quarter and they're in the game, then you're like, well, Colorado's good.
Yeah.
But USC looks like they. I mean, listen, if Caleb Williams is as good as he's supposed to be, they should make the playoffs.
Yeah,
they should try to make the playoffs. Okay. Ohio State, Michigan, Oklahoma, FSU. You got some different beasts there. Georgia's the favorite. So, I mean, like, you have a different beast there. But
Penn State's good.
We're buying into Colorado. It's my second team right now, okay? And it should be America's second team. How are you not?
It's my first team right now, dude.
Well, that's because he didn't go to college because he's a loser. So, that being said, we're having a fun time with Deion. We love Deion. We're all about Deion. We're going to spend every week talking about Deion. If you're a part of this, if you want to be a part of this group that we call the Michael Lenoci Show, if you want to be a part of this channel, you got to like and subscribe right now because we're Deion fans. If you're a Deion, I might change the show to the Deion Sanders Show.
I'm done.
We should just change it to the Deion Sanders Show. This episode is called the Deion Sanders Show.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. There's no rules, man. We can live however we want. Anyways, that's something to just be excited about.
It's even crazy that like Lil Wayne was down to do that.
Well, it's Deion Sanders. It's
I know.
Arguably the most famous football of all time.
It's because of that, obviously.
It's because of Deion Sanders, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. I'm saying what he's doing in Colorado, who had one win last year.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
already
Yeah.
have 3 wins. They're playing these great teams. Lil Wayne's walking them out.
Lil Wayne's a huge football fan. So
Yeah, but not Colorado. He's actually a Green Bay Packers fan for football, and he's a Red Sox fan for baseball.
sure, but he's also a Miami Heat fan for basketball. So
It's weird.
and he's rapped about the Marlins before too. Back when he's dropping all those mixtapes, no ceilings.
Yeah.
Threw in a reference for the Marlins. Only OGs would know about that. My point is, Dion, like Lil Wayne's aware, like he's all about that. Dion easily could have just texted Lil Wayne. That's how famous Dion is.
Yeah.
All right. We get into week 2. Here's the thing about the NFL. You don't know until week 4 or 5. We know this every year. We remind ourselves every year. You don't get overexcited, even as a Dolphin fan. Dolphins were 3-0 last year. They had come off beating the Ravens in the greatest comeback of their franchise history, one of them, and Tua throwing 6 touchdown passes. They had a home game against the Bills, who were supposed to be the Super Bowl favorites, and they beat them in the last drive. Tua played great, had a little scare where people were like, was that a concussion? Was it not? Came back in the game illegally. There was all that controversy that started. Dolphins were 3-0 looking good, and then he gets concussed, and they lose 3 in a row. So you can never get too excited. That's specifically for Dolphin fans and any other fans. And another example is the Bengals were also 0-2 last year. They're 0-2 this year. We're not going to go crazy yet.
Yeah, Patriots are 0-2. We're not going to go crazy.
Everybody, if you go look at our previous episodes, we called this. So we knew this because we know that. Nobody knew the Bengals were going to be 0-2. But we're going to start, I think, with the most complete team in the NFL after 2 games. They've played the most complete. They've had 2 blowouts, essentially. 40-0. They've outscored their opponents 70-10 in 2 games. They won yesterday 31-10.
Yep, 30-10.
30-10. So 70-10. It's the Dallas Cowboys, guys.
Yeah, baby.
AKA America's team. That's annoying. By the way, that's annoying for anyone who's not a Cowboys fan. That's annoying that that's said. It's one of the more annoying things that's said in the NFL is the Cowboys are America's team. If anything, the Patriots are more America.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? But or like, you know, the rich history of the NFL would be more Packers or the Browns. Those are the 2 oldest football teams that were playing in the 30s.
Don't you think it's weird that the Cowboys aren't in the Packers division?
Aren't?
Yeah.
Well,
They should be in the Central not the Central, the South of the North.
it's because
the
they,
East.
you know, before you were born, there was only 3 divisions. And I'm part of the 3 division era. And before that, there was only 2. There was just 2. There was just one league and one league back from the 60s and 70s. Yeah. So then when they broke it up, the Cowboys were in the Central.
Oh, wow.
No, they weren't. They were the East. Yeah, you're right. They were in the East. The East was Philly, Washington, Cowboys. Who am I forgetting?
Giants.
New York Giants. And then the 5th team over there was not the Vikings, not Detroit.
Bears.
Not Bears. Not Packers.
Saints? No, they're newer.
Who was the other 5th East team back then? Because I know the Colts was for the Dolphins division. The Colts was in the Dolphins division. It was Colts, Dolphins, Bills, Jets,
Baltimore
Patriots.
Colts?
No, Indianapolis Colts.
Huh.
Like when Peyton Manning came in the league, him and like he played Marino his rookie year. His rookie year he went up against Marino.
Damn.
So,
I know that.
yeah. And we before they split up into 4 divisions. I'm trying to think who am I missing? I think it was actually, I want to say, okay, you could look that up if you want.
Houston.
No, Houston was in the
What
AFC.
up?
You could look that up if you want. That would be cool if you did that, wouldn't it? That would be pretty cool to know if it was the Saints. It definitely wasn't the Saints. Just go to the division. Type in 1998 divisions, the NFC East. If you do it like that.
Okay.
Anthony?
Yeah, I got it. Ooh.
What was the goddamn NFC East in 1998?
Saints.
It was the Saints.
Yeah.
So there you go. It was the Saints. So anyways, the Dallas Cowboys are by far the best team in the NFL for me.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we every week I do the Power 5, right? Kind of like a lottery thing. But the most complete team, I think we agree on this topic, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
Do we agree on this?
The Cowboys?
They are the most complete team right now we've seen through 2 weeks.
100%.
You agree?
Yes.
Over the 49ers.
Yeah.
I agree. Dallas Cowboys scary. And what else do we have written down about the Dallas Cowboy? Is there a chance for an MVP candidate?
I was wrong.
What? You fucked up?
It was the Cardinals, bro.
Yes! It was.
That's insane.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure it out. It's
so weird, right?
Because Wikipedia said the Saints, but this is.
That's because it was the St. Louis Cardinals first.
Yeah, the
before they moved to
Colts
Arizona.
were with the Patriots and the.
What?
The Indianapolis.
Yeah.
The Seahawks were with the Raiders and the Chiefs and
Yes.
the Chargers.
Yes.
And then there was the Central, which was
Yes.
the same as it is now as the North, but the Bucks were in there. And then the NFC West was the Falcons, Niners, Saints, Panthers, and Rams.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. This is
was in
before you were
1998.
born.
This was. Well, I was 1 year old.
Yeah. So before you were born, right?
I was 1 year old.
Yeah. So before you were born.
The Central, dude. I like there was a
All right.
Central.
Well, let's not get out of track here, dude. We got a show to run. We can't go doing the stat stuff we used to do anymore. We got fucking clickbaits. We got to get people going.
Yeah.
We're
All
on the
right, let's do
Cowboys right now. We're talking about a bold prediction right now. 2024, which would be Madden 25. Cover of Madden 25 right now. As of today, this could be a segment we do every week. All right? Madden cover updates. Right now, it's
Yeah.
Micah Parsons. The first defensive player on Madden since, again.
Troy Polamalu.
No, there was one, I think, since then. Was there not? See, here's the thing. Some of you guys will be like, you guys should do a little bit more research before you start. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, okay? I didn't know we were going to do a Madden segment. But right now, Micah Parsons.
Micah,
Sorry. Sometimes I mess up names. It's not a big deal, okay? I'm not getting mad. Micah Parsons. God. This is why I will never be on ESPN. Listen, Micah Parsons. Could you argue? All right.
Dude, he was unbelievable.
Is he MVP right now?
Ray Lewis was 2005. I think he's MVP right now.
Over Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, over two.
Does that piss you off?
Yeah.
Who do you think would be the second in MVP right now? Would you not think it goes to the quarterback who leads the league in passing? Anthony, just say it. Who leads the league in passing right now? Tua does.
Okay.
So why would it not go to? You think it would go to? I mean, he doesn't lead the league in touchdown passes. Mayfield does, with 5. But I mean, it would go to a team that's 2-0. So it would go to someone on Dallas, or would it go? Here's the candidates right now for all the 2-0 teams. It'd be Micah Parsons, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, or Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
So you put McCaffrey at 2.
268 rushing yards. He's got
A couple TDs.
Yeah, he's looking good. Dude, there's some weird, defensive leaders. Javon Holland has more tackles
Isn't that cool?
than Parsons.
But Parsons has how many sacks?
Sacks. He's got not even 3.
Really?
Not even the most on his team.
Tackles for loss.
So we look like
Tackles
idiots.
for loss. No,
He
man.
has 2 sacks.
Tackle for losses. Bro, he's been
He has 6 tackles, 7 total tackles,
how many for a loss?
3 total sacks, tackles for loss 4.
He's still been all over the ball though. He's just a dominant force.
You're right.
So,
So
then
maybe we got ahead of ourselves.
So now
a
you
little
have
bit.
so now you have to put him. I still listen. Madden cover isn't MVP. Madden cover is most exciting player.
Yeah, and marketable. Yeah, for sure.
So
You're right.
right now I would put him, Christian McCaffrey, and Tua as the top 3 candidates for Madden cover.
I think you got to put, regardless, you still got to throw Justin Jefferson up there. I mean, dude,
Of course.
Look at these stats.
Of course you have to. He leads the league in receiving. Of course you do.
Kirk Cousins is having an amazing year. He has 6 less yards than Tua.
It was specifically last game.
7.
He threw for 400
He's
yards.
the best
and 4
fantasy
TDs.
player right now.
Yeah, it was specifically last game, which I think is arguably one of the game of the weeks, but we'll get to
You
that.
see who's number 4 in passing?
Who?
Stroud.
I saw that.
That's pretty
Yes,
cool.
I did see that. That was pretty cool. But that's from playing from behind. So
You have an
far,
excuse for everything except for Tua.
what?
You have an excuse for everything.
Yeah, that's what a good analyst does. I don't have an excuse for McCaffrey or
who's
Dallas.
fifth?
You know
who's
why?
fifth?
Because they won and they're 2-0 and they're good.
You know who's sixth in passing?
Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're playing from behind. Because, hey.
But they're still playing, dude.
Hey, man. What do you. Okay. Now we're getting pissed off because we're going off script. Yeah, man. When you throw the ball 56 times, do you think that's good? 56 times in game one, in week one. You think that's good to do that?
How was that bad? How many times did Tua throw?
Never in his career has he thrown 56 times. Man, that was one of the
sucks.
topics. Listen, Anthony, I'm not even being joking around. You got to watch some of these shows around the league to at least be on the same wavelength as them. That is one of the biggest issues after week one is like you don't win games throwing the ball 56 times. The reason you're throwing the ball 56 times is because you're trailing big, is which they were trailing the whole first half against the Eagles.
45.
What?
Tua threw 45 on the first week.
In the first week, it was a shootout, back and forth.
Okay.
But we weren't playing from behind. You threw 56 times, so you were playing from behind.
Well, why is that? I'm just saying why.
Look at his average.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying why is that such a bad thing? That's just a fact.
Because that means you're playing from behind when you throw that many times. That's why. You don't want.
But he's still completing passes and throwing for yards. He has more yards than Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, and Trevor Lawrence. So that's a stat.
But no, look at his average. Look at his average for yards per completion. That is a very bad stat. Now tell everyone what it is.
68, which is still higher than Mahomes, Josh Allen.
68. No, man. You're not listening. Average attempt. How is it? It's like
completion percentage?
No, his yards per completion is like 6 yards.
Yeah, so
that's below NFL average.
I'm not, but I'm just saying he has a lot of yards. I'm not saying I wasn't talking about his yards per.
But that's the point. Like if you threw for fucking 600 yards, right, and your average was 10 yards, that's big explosive plays. He wouldn't have had to throw it 56 times in week one. You throwing it 56 times, the percentage of people that win games when their quarterback has to throw the ball over 50 times is a very low percentage. It's something like less than 20% chance of them winning that game.
So Mac Jones is after all you just said.
Yeah,
he's still sixth. He's still sixth, dude.
Yeah, but that's not what you just asked me. Rewind.
What did I just ask?
You asked why is it bad if a quarterback throws that many times?
I'm not saying it's.
Yeah, but what's your argument about him? Because he's sixth in yards.
He's on the quarterback on my favorite team.
But what does that have to do with what we were talking about?
I was just throwing that because we were looking at the rankings, and then I said, who's fourth? C.J. Stroud. You're like, oh, that's cool. And I said, who's sixth? My favorite player, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying.
Okay. Well, can we stick to the script of the fucking show?
Whoa, he's more than Herbert and Mahomes. That's interesting. Cool. No, that's what I was.
Yeah. So what is that? What's your point though? Let's get into it. What's your point? If you want to go off script, what's your point then?
He's having
more than Herbert. Then okay, what's your point?
He has more yards so far than two guys that were supposed to be MVP candidates. One of the guys won the MVP.
Would you say if we compare stats of Mahomes and Mac Jones, you're going to say Mac Jones is having a better year than Mahomes? Because you want to pull it up.
I haven't seen the stats. All I saw was the yards rankings.
That's one.
But so I saw he has more yards than the former MVP.
Okay, but let's pull up average yards per completion in the whole NFL. Just go to NFL.com, go to average yards per completion, pull it up, and let's go through the lowest 5.
I was just saying he's sixth in average. I wasn't talking about anything else. But you can't take that away from him. He's sixth in.
You can take it away. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing on the sports shows.
But it's a statistic.
But this is what. But
ESPN.com.
But statistics mean something sometimes. Do they not?
He's completed a lot of his passes for yards.
Dude, do you think because Javon Holland has top 5 tackles, do you think that's because his level of play or because we're giving up a lot of back plays and our safety has to tackle a lot?
I don't know why that is, but I was talking about Mac Jones.
Yeah, but
So you're talking about safety now.
No, I'm bringing up an example, bro. You don't listen a lot, do you?
I'm listening.
Okay, hold on. I'm still going.
Anybody watching this right now is laughing at you, to be honest.
Okay.
They're like
no one bringing up an analogy.
So I was like, my favorite quarterback.
No, it's not. I'm bringing up an analogy.
Okay.
No, it's not because you're defending it like Mac Jones is like better than them.
I didn't say that at all. I said, but
is there not?
But 6 is Mac Jones in passing. 7 is Justin Herbert. 8 is Patrick Mahomes.
So that's
9 is Josh Allen. That's just the numbers, bro.
So that's not a tone.
That's just the numbers, bro. And 13 Lawrence. Jesus.
Cool. Let me know when I could go.
Lamar Jackson 19.
So when I break
Jalen
down
Hurts 23.
Cool. So here we go.
Go ahead, dude.
How are you gonna? If a good show is gonna be successful, are you gonna get your point off and then let me explain something? So then you go. I'm talking about safety. Let me finish the analogy because it's a brilliant analogy. Is it not? Ready? Are you ready? So I'm telling you, when you watch the sports shows all around TV that you should watch, right? Because we kind of want to get those fan bases. And they talk about breaking down numbers like stats. Stats don't lie. What do stats mean, though? Certain things. So, for instance, Javon Holland, great example, is fifth in tackles. Does that mean he's playing out of his mind? Or does that mean because, hey, our run defense was horrible and he's the last guy back there to make a tackle? That's what that says about Javon Holland. Now, what does it say about Mac Jones when he has that many yards with such a low average per completion? That says they're playing from behind. He's getting dump-off completions. Nick Wright even brought up on the show last week that 200 of his yards were in like the second half of the Eagles game. So numbers lie for leading the league, but they mean something. They tell a story. So my point was that Mac Jones's numbers tell a story because his average per completion means something, that it's so low. They're not like Tua, who leads the league in average per completion with like 11. That tells a different story. Oh, he's throwing explosive plays. That means something. Okay. Does it not?
Yeah, no, I didn't say it didn't.
Nobody, no, I know you didn't say it didn't, but I'm explaining it to you, but you didn't want to hear that. But would you agree that that's what that means?
Yeah, nobody disagree with you. I'm just saying Mac Jones has more passing yards than both Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes.
That's not the point. We didn't argue that. The point was we were arguing.
I wasn't arguing anything. I was just reading the facts, dude.
Okay.
You got all mad.
Okay.
I wasn't arguing a single thing.
Okay.
I know that obviously the Patriots played from behind. They lost 2 games so far, so obviously they're playing from behind.
Okay, you weren't arguing anything.
You think I'm an idiot? Like, I know. I'm just saying that he has more. It's pretty cool seeing your favorite quarterback have more passing yards than Mahomes and Herbert.
And I explained to you, but that doesn't mean anything.
It's the stat, though.
But
he's doing better than he did. I'd rather see that than him at the bottom. That means he's throwing the ball and they're catching the ball and they're getting yards.
So what you're saying is not arguing?
Now, since
what you're
I think
saying,
it means
I'm explaining to you why that stat is not a good stat in your favor.
So if you're a Patriots fan,
Mahomes is having a better year so far.
If you're a Patriots fan, would you rather see Mac Jones at 6 or at 13?
It depends how the games went.
Right now, exactly how they went.
If they're still 0-2 and he had less yards, I guarantee the games would be closer and they wouldn't have been.
That's a silver lining. Seeing okay, he's passing.
Well, how about this?
Mac Jones is passing for some yards.
How about this? Herbert and Mahomes, great examples, and Lamar Jackson have less than him. And Lamar Jackson's 2-0. Mahomes is 1-1, and they look better, and he played better. And Herbert has played better than Mac Jones too, and he's 0-2, and he has less yards.
So I would love to talk about. First of all, I'd love to talk about this with like somebody that's unbiased. That's not because you're very biased.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm just saying
you're more biased. You're defending.
I'm reading off stats off of a sheet,
and I'm explaining to you what they mean.
And I'm saying that's a cool silver lining. That's it. What's wrong with that?
I don't.
That means he's doing better than he did last year. He's passing for yards.
I don't believe that that's what you started.
I don't believe that too. This is what.
That's fine. Then you're just making yourself. I mean, we'll just see what the comments say.
Because he's making passes.
That's fine. But if you're gonna go say, "Oh, I don't believe Tua," that's fine. You don't
because you're just picking it apart. If that Mac Jones, if that was Baker Mayfield, you'd be like, "Oh, he's awesome."
I'm literally stealing from other sports shows.
Okay.
I'm not making this up. I'm just explaining to you what stats mean on certain players.
He has a higher completion percentage than Tua with more passes thrown. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a genuine statistic.
Okay.
On paper.
Yeah.
Same with Justin Herbert.
His average per completions is one of the lowest in the NFL. That's a very bad stat.
But it's not.
That's one of the most.
There's nothing against him. That's the play calls that he's doing.
No. That's one of the most important stats when it comes to a quarterback.
But that's not who he is. As a quarterback. He's a short pass guy.
No, it means they're getting dump off plays when he's playing from behind because nobody's letting them catch up, and they don't have a deep threat. They don't have a deep down the field threat.
But he's still making these passes, and he has the 6th most yards.
Sure, anybody can make those passes when you're down and it's in the 4th quarter.
Sure, dude.
How about this? You want to pull up another? I'm just trying to make you not as biased to defending him. How many of his yards?
Dude, I'm just reading off of a sheet right now.
Sure.
He has more completion percentage.
So how about fine. Anthony, you're reading off of a sheet. So do we just look at numbers and that's what we go off of? Stats don't mean something? Or isn't it kind of interesting, would you agree, to kind of break down why a stat is a certain way? Isn't that fun? Isn't that more entertaining?
You're talking like I didn't watch the game. I know he makes short passes.
Sure, but
I know they're playing from behind because they lost 2 games.
But Anthony,
obviously they're playing from behind.
We're not making it literally. We're doing it for the sake of entertainment. We want to make this show entertaining. Okay. So it is fun to. How boring would this show be if we're like, this is the stats for people. Those are the top 6. Cool. Instead, we started this argument with why a certain player should be on Madden cover.
Yeah.
Right? And then it started with Kirk Cousins. Like, wow, he's up there. I go, whoa. They're also 0-2. And Kirk Cousins, all of those passing yards came against the Eagles in the second half when they were down by 3 touchdowns. So it's like, yeah, he's having a great year statistically, but he's not having a great year. They're 0-2, and they were playing from behind, so all of his numbers are exaggerated because of how they played. So he shouldn't be.
But why should numbers be? If you're playing from behind, you're still
because we're
he's
talking
still making those
because we started this conversation about a Madden cover. A Madden cover goes to most.
Well, I wasn't saying he should be on the Madden cover.
But this is
even if he was 2-0 and he was by far the best, he still wouldn't be on the Madden cover next year. It's Kirk Cousins.
But that would be way more of an argument. Would you not agree that if he was 2-0 and his numbers were exactly the same, you would be like, well, he's having an MVP year.
MVP, but I'm.
But if you're having an MVP year, would you agree that you could be on Madden?
I don't think Kirk Cousins will ever be on a Madden cover, even if he has the exact same statistics
nobody's
that
arguing
said
that.
last year.
Nobody's arguing that.
Yeah, you're saying that I am.
What? No, I'm saying, would you agree that he would be a candidate to be on it? If he was 2-0, he would be an MVP candidate right now with those numbers. Yes, he would.
MVP candidate, yeah.
Yes.
I'm saying there's no way in hell Kirk Cousins is ever in consideration for the Madden
That's
cover.
besides the point.
Yeah.
And that's also an opinionative thing. Yeah. Because Madden cover.
If they're 2-0, he's the MVP.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So now that goes back to my point that they're 0-2.
But they don't taint his statistics, I don't think. They taint his opportunity for MVP because they're 0-2. I don't think because they're playing from behind.
Statistics.
I don't think he's still making plays.
That's fine, but okay.
So playing from behind, that means the defense is doing what? How does it have anything to do with his statistics?
Because a defense plays way different when they have a 3-touchdown lead. You play softer. You give up shorter passes because you're like, okay, let's not give up explosive plays. You rather listen. If you have a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, you don't want to give up a 2-play drive and let them come back. You're willing to give up a touchdown if it takes 14 plays to score a touchdown. So 14 plays, 7 completions in a drive, it builds your stats.
You're looking at it from an analyst. So looking at it from a player's point of view. These guys aren't just not playing. These guys are still playing hard. This
is a podcast about analyzing the NFL.
But you're looking at it because you're analyzing the analyst. Analyze the players.
I am analyzing the player.
Okay.
So, yeah, Kirk Cousins is still having those numbers and playing bad in the beginning. Look at his interceptions. Look at the way he played. I've rewatched most of the games, probably more than a majority of the humans in the earth, outside of people who are getting paid to do it. He hasn't played well at all. Everybody would agree with that. Everybody would agree that Kirk Cousins has underperformed as a quarterback this season. Would you agree with that?
I can't. He's the number one fantasy player. He has 708 yards.
How many interceptions does he have? Tells a totally different story, Anthony.
He has 6 TDs, 1 interception. Tua Tagovailoa has 4 TDs and 2 interceptions. I'm just reading off of a sheet. Kirk Cousins
doesn't have 1 interception. He threw 3 in week 1. What are you talking about?
You have you Google it, bro. 4 sacks.
Wow, 4 touchdowns against the Eagles. 1 pick. You're right. Well, he still underperformed. So are they 0-2 because of Kirk Cousins? Then you're saying no because of the stats.
Mm-hmm. Mac Jones 4 TDs, 2 touchdowns. Tua 4 TDs, 4 interceptions. Mac Jones 4 TDs, 2 interceptions. Mac Jones and Tua had the same stats.
Yeah, but there's a difference between their stats. Are you bringing up Tua? Because I haven't even brought up Tua yet.
I was just reading off of the sheet.
Okay, but here we go. Now let's break this down. This is how immaturity is real. You saying that, you're just reading the stats? There's no innuendo. You're not bringing that up for a point, yes or no? Or are you going to just lie?
I'm just saying they had the same stats. They
So
have the
why
same
are you just
TDs
saying
and,
that?
and touchdowns.
So there's no emotion when you say things. Is that how you do stand up?
Your
Hold
favorite
on, I'm asking
quarterback.
you a question.
Your favorite quarterback is Tua.
Is my
Mine's
favorite quarterback Tua? No,
in the
that's not
league.
true. No.
You have a jersey of him.
Yeah, it's my team. I support
Okay.
my team.
So
So he's not my favorite
he's your-
player. Like
he's
that's
your-
like my
who's your
Pickens.
favorite quarterback in
My
the league?
Pickens is my favorite wide receiver. You know that.
Who's your favorite quarterback in the league right now?
I mean, it's probably still fucking. I mean, I wanted it to be Justin Fields, but it's probably Mahomes. He's definitely the most fun to watch. He's like Steph Curry. It's
Okay.
like, oh, just because I love LeBron doesn't mean like who would I rather like go for? I'd rather go for Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my new favorite player is Anthony Edwards. He's not. It's not Jimmy Butler just because Jimmy Butler played. It's Anthony Edwards. You know that. I've talked about that. I go, oh man, I love Anthony Edwards. One of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
So you say the thing about Tua. Are you implying anything? So you're just reading.
I'm just saying that our quarterbacks have the same TD.
Nobody
to
is
interception
arguing
ratio.
that that's not true.
I'm just
I'm
letting
asking
you.
you-
I'm letting you know because you didn't know that Kirk Cousins was 6-1.
So, but I.
So I'm just letting you know about Mac Jones and Tua as well.
Okay, so then is Kirk Cousins going back to the original argument that we got into for this about the cover of Madden? Then
Mac
Kirk
Jones.
Cousins, if he was 2-0, could easily be considered for a cover of Madden right now. He could.
Because of Kirk Cousins, I still stand by this. He's never going to be on the cover.
Now
of a
watch
video
this
game.
argument how I fucking stump him with this. Yet he was picked to be on a Netflix television show. So what's
Yeah.
your argument that he's not marketable because they thought he was marketable enough to be on Netflix?
I don't think he's marketable enough to be on the Madden cover.
Cool, but that's an opinion. That's separate from what based off statistics.
it's pretty
though,
common. If you poll a bunch of people, even if Kirk Cousins is an MVP type year,
Sure.
he's not getting on the cover of Madden next year.
That is most likely true, but that is not something you can gauge off of anything other than statistics because the Madden thing is picked by the most exciting player. It's
Yeah.
never by marketability. It's who has the most exciting season, who was the most exciting player that year, who had the most explosive plays. So, based off statistics, if he was 2-0, he's clearly one of the top MVP candidates. Yes.
MVP,
and,
yes.
And two, he could be eligible to be on Madden. Would you agree? If there's only 5 guys that are eligible after 2 weeks, you would agree that with those numbers, if he was 2-0, he would be eligible.
Yeah, but I don't think they're ever going to consider him.
That's not what we asked. Now, is it? So it's like if you were on court and someone asked you a question, you don't answer with additional information to get your point across. The question is, would he be eligible to be on Madden with those numbers if they were 2-0?
To be honest with you, my
Yes.
honest answer, I don't know the eligibility. How you
All right,
decipher
so I'll
someone being
explain to you.
eligible.
So they go by the most exciting player, and the NFL is on Madden. They go by most exciting. It's
I don't
never the
think-
MVP. It's never based off stats. It's based off of
Then
like
no,
who's
no.
had the most.
My answer
biggest-
is no. He's not.
So then,
eligible.
who's your top 5 then for Madden, Anthony?
my top 5?
Yeah, off of 2 weeks, if he was 2-0, who would be the 5 most explosive players? Because it's always offensive, rarely ever defensively. And just based off your numbers of Micah Parsons, he wouldn't be then.
I think Micah Parsons is because he's more of an exciting player. Cousins has the stats to back it up.
Yeah. So who's the top 5 then if it's not Cousins?
My top 5 would be Micah Parsons, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and then probably maybe one of these guys from fuck. I mean, I don't even want to do.
So Tyreek
defensive
Hill,
players.
1 week he has 1 touchdown for 50 yards. That's it. Has the huge week 2. But Cousins puts up 4 touchdowns week 2, 3 touchdowns week 1.
Yeah, I don't think Cousins is ever gonna just because of who he is.
I could sit here and go, I don't think 99% of the players in the NFL will be on the Madden
I don't
cover.
think he's an exciting player.
But he's having an exciting season.
He's my fantasy quarterback. I love Kirk
So he's
Cousins.
having
I
an
just don't
exciting
think he's ever
season.
going to be on a Madden cover.
Okay, but he's having an
Jared Goff.
exciting
We'll put
season.
Jared Goff at 5.
Okay. Your arguments, you don't back up your arguments. That's what's
We'll
frustrating.
put Tua at 5.
But you don't
Make
back
it-
up your arguments, though. That's what's frustrating.
He's not an exciting player. He's not deemed
To
as an
you, though,
exciting guy.
But to you, but his stats are backing
He is
up
probably, arguably, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he's an exciting Madden player
But what
guy.
is an exciting Madden player for you? Like their personality of how they talk? Do you think that's how they pick a player for the cover of Madden?
Yeah, he's
Not
also-
based off performance on the field? That's what's weird. I go, why are you going based off of a personality of a player? It's not based off a personality player. They put a running back from the Browns on there one time. It's based off of who has the most exciting plays throughout the year. This guy clearly has had 7 exciting plays this year. So that's an exciting reason to put him on the cover.
I still don't think he'd be on the cover.
You don't have to think he would, but you have to understand statistically that if they were winning, he would definitely be eligible for it. And that you can't argue because he leads the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
So how is the guy who leads the league in touchdowns not eligible? If you don't think that way, then you're just being stubborn. You're not being malleable to understanding a situation.
I don't think he's what they.
But But then now you're making something up. What do you're saying exciting based off personality? But that's not how they measure
personality. Both personality, both.
But that's not how they measure the thing of Madden, though.
I think they do a lot of the times.
I don't. Let's
Nowadays,
pull. All right.
Peyton Hillis was over 10 years ago, so we can probably
pull up
erase
the
that
Let's-
argument because
let's
that was
pull-
over 10 years ago,
Okay,
right?
so let's pull up the Madden covers then, and we'll go.
I have them
through it.
already pulled up, buddy.
Cool.
2008, Vince Young, exciting. Brett Favre,
Hold on. 2008. What?
Vince Young.
Okay. So his personality was exciting. Yeah, that guy's all over TV.
Vince Young was almost one of the most electric college players. And
His
and he had-
personality wasn't. It was his performance based. You're proving
Yes.
my point.
That's exactly what I said. His personality one time, and you're really taking and running with it.
But
let's talk about his performance, okay?
Okay.
Kirk Cousins' performance.
Yes. Leads the league in touchdowns.
Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald. Drew Brees. Peyton Hillis. Calvin Johnson.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson.
All right, let's stop.
Richard Sherman, personality.
Let's
Odell
stop.
Beckham,
Let's
personality.
stop.
Gronk,
Calvin Johnson.
personality.
What? Who?
Gronk.
Gronk.
Brady.
Gronk won a Super Bowl.
Antonio Brown. Kirk Cousins didn't.
Hold on.
Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, exciting. Brady and Mahomes, exciting.
Yeah. You're proving my point. This is not personality driven. None of these are driven by personality. These are all Super Bowl winners or led the league in something. And
Yeah.
you said Gronk personality. Gronk's the
I
greatest
just
tight
did
end.
just now, but I wasn't most.
He's the greatest tight end ever to live.
Yeah, based on Kirk Cousins' play and just who he is perceived as a quarterback in the NFL, he is never going to be on Madden. Even if he has the best year ever, he's not going to be on Madden.
You
cover.
can't say that.
In my opinion, that's why we're here, because we're giving our opinions on the podcast.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
But-
and that's not going to change.
That doesn't matter, but you have to be open and malleable. If Kirk Cousins throws 60 touchdown passes,
Kirk
this
Cousins
year,
is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. I like to say it. I just
Okay.
don't think he's going to be on the Madden cover.
So if he throws 60 touchdown passes, he wouldn't be on it then.
No, correct.
Why is that?
I just don't think.
So if he
they are
broke
what
the
they are
touchdown
I
record-
don't think Kirk Cousins is what they are looking for. I think they're like a young.
Well,
Like
you wanna know why they're not
guy
lo-
for,
yeah,
for
but-
the league.
yeah.
This guy could be in a different contract in 2 years. This guy could retire this year. You never know.
but that also wouldn't happen if he threw 60 touchdown passes. All of a sudden, he is marketable, isn't he? If he threw 60 touchdown passes, is he all of a sudden marketable? That means he broke the record.
I still think he is Kirk Cousins, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
You understand exactly what I'm talking
But we're
about.
also playing hypothetical if he's 2-0 and leads the league. I'm trying to prove a point that the Madden cover is most exciting, has the most exciting year. It's not
are
based
the
on
first
personality. It's not based
If
on
you're
personality.
watching this, check the tape back right
Yeah.
away. You're like, he's not going to be on the Madden. Right when I brought up Kirk Cousins' name, you're like, he wouldn't be on the Madden cover.
Sure.
You said that.
But I'm proving a point that it's not driven based off of what you're saying personality. I'm defending that. That's all I'm defending. I want you to know that it's based off of a most exciting season. So hypothetically, hey man, if fucking Kenny Pickett threw 60 touchdown passes, guess what, bro? He's eligible to be on the cover of Madden.
Yeah,
That's all I'm arguing.
He's a young, exciting player.
But all I'm
15 years in the
but
league
all I'm
left.
arguing is that
I can see Kenny Pickett.
is the fact that you won't put him in eligibility based off of excitement and plays. That's all I'm trying to get is like, why are you being so stubborn based off of 2 weeks to analyze something? It goes based off of who's had the most exciting season statistically. It does. That's how it's kind of covered. Okay. You brought up the argument that, marketable. Sure. You're right about that. I'm not arguing that.
So
I agreed with you on that. I
here's
said,
my last argument.
yeah.
If you have to choose between Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has an amazing year.
No. We're at 2 weeks, bro. We're not talking about amazing year. If we're gonna
You just said hypothetically 60
okay, so
touchdowns.
then if he has 60 touchdown passes,
So 60
yeah.
touchdowns, how many of those are going to, unless he's out for season, how
Yeah.
many of those are going to Justin Jefferson? I think if Kirk Cousins has a great year, that means Jefferson's having a great year, which means Jefferson is on the cover. He's a young, marketable player. Argue that.
Okay.
I'm
I
right.
will right now. 60 touchdowns. Okay, let's say he got 20. That's still 40 more that Cousins had than him.
Because he's a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. So, and he broke the record.
So when Calvin Johnson had that amazing year and got on the cover, should we have put Dan Orlovsky on the cover?
No, it was Stafford.
Stafford got hurt. Orlovsky threw a lot to him that year.
Yeah, but what was Orlovsky's stats for the year? Why don't you go look it up? That's not helping your argument.
It's not hurting it.
It definitely is because we talked about what if Cousins had 60 touchdown passes. The record's 52.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone who breaks a record is eligible. That's the point.
Not Kirk Cousins.
Anybody is. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be Geno Smith. It could be any quarterback in the NFL. If he broke the quarterback
Geno
record.
Smith could be on it, yeah.
What?
I could see Geno Smith on it if he has a crazy year.
Zach Wilson could be on it.
If
Anyone
he has
can.
a crazy year. These younger guys, yeah.
Anyone can. It doesn't matter your age. If you break the quarterback record for touchdowns, you're eligible.
Okay. Do you think Kirk Cousins will break the record this year?
No.
Okay.
But that's not the point. The point is you understanding that eligibility is a fact of if you broke a record. Doesn't matter. It's you getting out of the mindset of that it has to be with marketability. It's
You were the first person to say he has to be marketable.
sure, but I'll argue all day with you to prove a point because
you're running and you're like
if you
you're
break
like
a
trying
record,
to
how
find
about this?
things.
If you break, fine. If you break a record, then I'll end it like this: if you break a record in the NFL, are you marketable?
Not Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Then you're just dumb. You just haven't been alive long enough to know that that's not one of the most marketable things.
If Kirk Cousins throws 60 touchdowns,
then you're marketable. That's the end of the story. You're just
marketable.
wrong.
That means he could be on the Madden cover.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
If he throws 60, you think he's gonna throw 60?
No, but
so we don't have to talk about this.
Yeah, we don't. But that's proved. It proved a point, and I got you to agree with it, and that's all. And that's 1-0 me.
Let's put
1-0
Let's
me.
put Javon Holland on the Madden cover next year.
No, he hasn't done anything yet.
25
Scored a
tackles,
touchdown,
dude.
What?
25 tackles.
So no touchdowns. It's not that exciting yet. He's got to return one for a touchdown.
Well, all of his tackles are legitimate
because the run defense was bad. It tells a different story.
Yeah.
Do you disagree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. Do you so you agree with that too then?
Yeah.
So you understand what stats
I
mean.
agree with everything that you say.
No. Do you agree that stats tell a different story?
Yeah, but when you're looking at the Javon Holland, he's having a good year. He has 25 tackles. He's tackling the people. They're going down. That's what it is. You got to look at a little less.
No, it tells me a story. You know who I'd rather have 25 tackles? You know who usually leads the league in tackles? Linebackers. You know why? Because they're tackling a running back. If your safety,
Javon Holland plays up too. Sometimes.
Sure, but if your safety is leading the league in tackling, it means your run defense did very bad. That's not a good sign for your defense. That's all I'm saying. Moving on to the script that we had 45 minutes later, because this asshole wanted to argue about eligibility. Dork. I hope people yell at me. Okay. How many hey. Javon Holland, 10 tackles week 1, 6 week 2.
25.
What? Oh, solos though. Solo tackles 10 and 6. Total 14 versus 11. Run defense was way better against the Patriots this week. You guys only averaged 2. What's after the Cowboys, please? It's after the goddamn Cowboys.
Dolphins.
Oh, what a perfect transition because this is going to piss him off. Are the Dolphins the best team in the AFC? Are the Dolphins the best team in the AFC right now, 2 weeks in?
Them and the Ravens.
Who's better? You have to pick one.
You have to pick one?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're the only 2-0 teams. The Browns lost tonight. So who's the best team in the AFC?
I'd say since so far you have to say the Dolphins because they beat two good teams and the Ravens played the
on the
Texans.
road. Yeah. More specifically, on the road.
Yeah, Ravens played.
He knew I was going to erupt if he disagreed with this. He knew that I would leave the camera and we would wrestle. We'd straight up wrestle for 20 minutes, and I would leave it in, and 20 minutes of the episode would just be rolling around, scuffling and shit.
Lucky for you, I hate the Ravens more than I hate the Dolphins.
Why? Just
grew up every year since the Patriots played a playoff game against them.
So right now the powerhouse in the AFC is
because I don't look at the Dolphins even this year. I don't look at the Dolphins as a threat.
You don't want to give it up for them yet.
I just did, dude.
No, but you say I don't think they're a threat.
Long term, I think the Ravens would
beat them.
In December, yeah.
I think the Ravens are very vulnerable. I think that if you play him right, he can be it's way easier to stop Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense than it is to stop Mickey D's offense. That's all.
I agree. You're right.
That's all I'm saying. And then as long as our defense gets better and Jalen Ramsey comes back, There's a big problem in the AFC, dude. And you got to live with it, because if we go back to the tapes, like people will in this episode, and see what dumb argument we had, which was highly entertaining. I have to assume it was very entertaining. And if it didn't, unsubscribe and leave. But I have to assume, if you go back and look at the tapes, this guy said the Patriots would win 10 games this year and the Dolphins would probably win 9. Right now, I'm right again. And it makes me feel good.
Nobody's right yet because it hasn't happened yet.
I hope that Anthony's so angry right now that he wants to break his computer. How about that? What's after the Dolphins?
Game of the week.
All right. There's 2 games of the week, because I think that we'll leave the Dolphins out for a little bit, okay? They do look really good based off of a couple things they have to clean up offensively. There's an issue with their snaps. They're having a bad 2 games in a row. It looked ugly. Tua forced the ball last night. It looked ugly. But the Patriots defense brought them back in the game. So I will hand it out to the Patriots that, listen, are the Patriots the best 0-2 team? I'll argue for that.
Hell yeah.
Let's go through the 0-2 teams just to give it up for the Patriots a little bit.
Yeah.
0-2 teams. How many are there?
I'm looking it up. 0-2 teams.
0-2 teams.
We have the Bengals.
The Chargers.
The Patriots.
I would say in that order is the best 0-2 teams.
The Vikings.
Okay. I will put the Patriots ahead of the Bengals.
Broncos.
No. Not on them.
Texans.
No. So, I think there's 4 teams that are 0-2 that we don't believe are an 0-2 team.
Yeah.
The Vikings, the Bengals, the Chargers, and the Patriots. I would argue after 2 weeks, the Chargers are the best 0-2 team.
Yeah.
They lost 2 game nail biters. One in overtime, and he got sacked. They easily could have gotten field goal range and beat the Dolphins in week 1.
Okay.
All right. Patriots had to play 2. Here's the thing about the Patriots. They lost 2 home games. They're 0-2 with 2 home games. One was a primetime home game. So it's a little scarier. But they did look better than the Bengals. The Bengals at 0-2, that's not looking good.
They didn't even score a touchdown until like the 3rd quarter, right? The Bengals?
Yeah. And here's
Burrow's clearly very hurt.
Well, they said he re-aggravated.
Yeah.
So this is a big thing. This is a big storyline. If they fall to 0-3, that's big. Okay? And then going back to the Vikings, going back to what we were just talking about, he's got 7 touchdowns and 1 pick, and they're 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like they're even in
6,
more trouble.
Yeah.
And they're playing the Chargers, which I think we have later on. We could just jump to now. The Chargers and the Vikings play each other. One of them's going 0-3, and that literally determines 2 things for these teams. If Chargers fall to 0-3, Staley's on the hot seat immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they go 1-5, he gets fired this season, and Kellen Moore takes over. Why wouldn't you just have him take over? He can't go 1-5. He has to go 2-2. Mm-hmm. If he goes 0-3 and they end up going 1-4, he could get fired. Now, Minnesota's coach isn't on the hot seat, but Kirk Cousins all of a sudden becomes, hey, we're not re-signing this guy.
Yeah.
Why don't we get trade capital for him? Pick draft capital.
Caleb Williams and Justin Jefferson would be sick.
Or just maybe Kirk Cousins to someone like New York.
Ooh.
It's not a bad fit.
You're right.
It's a scary fit, too. That's all I'm saying with those 2 teams.
You want to pick right now?
The picks for the next week?
For that team? For that game? Chargers, Vikings?
No, we'll do it with the rest of the picks when we get to that at the end. What did we have after? All right, game of the week, Seattle.
In the Lions.
Seattle Lions back and forth. Jared Goff's good.
Yeah.
He's officially good.
He will
the
be
Lions
an
are
MVP
good.
Candidate this year.
As of 2 weeks.
I think he's going to keep up his play. I think he's going to be even better.
So if he's an MVP candidate, would he be eligible to be on Madden cover?
Yeah, he was number 5.
He put him in over Tua.
I said Tua or Goff 5.
So who's real? Is Seattle just a desperate team that had to win? Or Detroit? Who's more likely to make the playoffs? The Seahawks or the Lions?
I think the Lions.
I think because of their
tough.
division. Yes.
Yeah, Seahawks a tough division. Rams look great, so that's why. Even
And
though
then
they lost to they still put up.
They
a
lost
good
to the
game.
Niners. It was a good game. The big test. This is a big test this week. They play. It's the Rams
Bengals.
Bengals.
Monday night, baby.
This is huge.
That's a huge game for both. Yeah.
Because if the Rams go to 1-2, they are who we thought they are. But if they win and go 2-1, they are now officially in. Hey, we're going to be fighting for a wild card, and then the Bengals are in real trouble.
Even if they lose to the Bengals, I know the Bengals are 0-2, but it's still losing to the Bengals. Like that's still a good.
Yes.
If they're 1-2, you're still not counting them out.
You're not counting them out, but it depends how they play.
Yeah.
But if they go 2-1, I officially buy into them.
Yeah.
Getting into a wild card fight with Seattle because they beat Seattle, right? So that helps them. But if the Bengals go 0-3, I don't care. I'll easily jump on they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah. Because then the next week.
Because if you go 0-3, excuse me, you have to basically, that means with 14 games left, they would have to go 10-4.
They don't have.
And they still have to play the Chiefs.
Yeah, but besides that, they
still have to play the Bills.
They don't have a super hard schedule.
They have to play the Bills and Chiefs still if they lose.
And the Niners.
Besides
that, they got some easy games.
They still have to play the Ravens one more time.
Yep.
They still have to play the Steelers.
In Baltimore.
The Steelers twice. It's not easy. And then the Browns one more time. It's not. The division games are never easy. That's 6 games that could easily go either way if they're 0-3. That's a tough hole to get out of. 0-3 is very tough.
Yeah.
0-2, they've done it. We've seen them do it. 0-3 is tougher. What do we have next on the list?
Bengals, Burrow hurt. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. There was something about maybe his calf injury coming up. We'll see.
Bengals, and then Bills are going to be fine. I think, yes.
The Bills are going to be fine.
But Bills are great, dude. And Rich Eisen was saying they think he wasn't really counting it against the Raiders because they think any team that went into the Buffalo.
The Jets.
Yeah, but any team that went into Buffalo week 2 was going to get.
The rebound game. But it's heading in for a good matchup. I mean, week 4 is going to be the game.
Yeah. And the
Fins versus Bills. We want to see what happens.
Bills got the fucking Commanders this week.
Which
that'd actually be a good game.
Well, it could be.
In Washington.
We could argue, are the Commanders the most surprising team of the NFL season up to this week? That's a fun little stat. Most surprising team so far this year. Mm-hmm. So far, up to this point, Commanders 2-0.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah. You're right.
Or Tampa Bay 2-0.
That's amazing.
I don't know if it's surprising because we are all like, we don't know. Nobody wanted to buy it. But the South is, I think that's on the list. We got 3 teams that are 2-0 in the South. Nobody saw this coming.
I mean, Bucks got the Eagles this week, so
2-0 teams. You got the Saints. You got the Bucks
and the Falcons.
Falcons
game was impressive.
Who's the best team?
Honestly, bro, I love Baker. I love the Bucks, but I'm gonna probably.
I'm not saying the Saints after tonight.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. The way that they came back and beat Love. And
yeah,
they played
character.
some great late games last year.
I just don't like Ritter.
I do.
I think he's not good. I think they rely on the run a lot, and he can't get the ball to Kyle Pitts.
Here's a great question.
I think that the Bucks are the best team in the division.
Do you think if he has a good year, takes him to the Super Bowl?
Who, Ritter?
Do you think he can be on the Madden cover?
Of course.
But yesterday we're sitting by the TV and you go, he's not marketable. You literally said Desmond Ritter is not marketable.
But if he takes them to the Super Bowl, he is, right?
Okay.
If you take a team,
but you said that just by which I agree, but just by looking at him, he's not a marketable looking guy.
No, his face, yeah, he's ugly. He's an ugly guy, is what I really meant.
Yeah.
But let me pull this up for you. 19 for 32, 237 yards, 1 interception. Rating is under 80. He does not look special in either of the games.
Yeah.
They're 2-0 not because of Ritter.
I know. I'm just kidding.
As far as the Packers, Jordan Love looks terrific. Jordan Love is a candidate with 6 touchdowns and no picks for a Madden cover.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Okay?
Marketable.
I'm fucking pissed, dude.
But going off what I just said about the Bills,
the Bucks are the best team in the South. I'll tell you why.
I hope so.
Because you have someone playing with a chip on their shoulder. They have the best offensive weapons.
Yeah.
All right. Atlanta has a run scheme. Ritter doesn't look good at passing the ball. He's good at managing the game. Their defense has played okay. They came back. It was a very big disappointment for the Packers to lose that game. But right now, the Bucs have a most complete team. They have at least 15 guys on that team that's won a Super Bowl. Okay, Mike Evans is playing great. They have a good connection going on.
Yeah.
They have an easy division. I think if they like between that division, that's 6 games. Who have they played so far? The Bucs, have they even played the Panthers? You know, they beat the Vikings, right? Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a huge conference win. They beat the Bears. Bears are looking pretty awful.
Yeah, really bad.
So
Caleb
awful
Williams
that it
awful.
looks like that if they had the first pick, they're taking Caleb Williams.
Which is insane.
But it's only 2 weeks in. Let's see what he does. He kind of came along last year late. But right now, Eagles-Bucks spread's only -5.5.
Because it's in Tampa.
Oh, that's true. Bro, they got their whole division they get to play.
So
The
they'll just
Bucs.
be beating up on each other.
Sure, but based off of what I've seen, Saints, that wasn't an easy win for the Saints today
No.
against a team that looks like it's going to win maybe 4 games if they're lucky. The Panthers,
worst in
who
that
I
division.
thought I actually picked to be the sleeper winning the division because I thought the coach and the team would be better. They look the worst in the division. Well, they are.
Oh, for sure.
They don't have any offense. The Panthers. That's 2 wins for the Bucs there that they should easily win.
Yeah, they can't get anything going. Yeah, they didn't look that great.
What's after the South's 2-0s?
NFC North.
That's the NFC North, sorry. Oh, the NFC North?
That's what you wrote.
I think
Did
I
you
meant
read South?
NFC South. Look at,
Power 5. We got, should I read them out?
I mean, unless you disagree with any of them.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? What are our Power 5s? Power 5s.
Number 5, Ravens. 4, Eagles. 3, Dolphins. 2, 49ers. 1, Cowboys.
So I think 49ers drop to 2. Cowboys go up to 1. Dolphins move up to 3. Eagles move down to 4. I don't know who I had at 5 last week. It might have been the Browns. But they're out and Ravens are in. They're 2-0. They got their only other 2-0 team in the AFC. Regardless,
Can I just ask you why
Eagles drop.
Why put the Dolphins above the Eagles?
I don't think the Eagles have looked explosive, and they looked shaky both games.
They put
I
up
think
34 points on Thursday
What?
night. They put up 34 points on Thursday night.
I know, but it just hasn't looked. It hasn't ran as
They
smooth.
have had very similar schedules.
Yeah, it hasn't ran as smooth as last year. They haven't looked as clean.
Mhm.
There's been mistakes.
New running back. I mean, he's going on.
They have
a
like
lot
3
last
different running backs there.
week. Yeah.
His passing ability hasn't been the same. But, I mean, that was arguably one of the game of the weeks, too. That was a crazy game that got out of hand there in the end. The fact that they let him come back, they kind of were winning easily, if I recall.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at, I mean, Hurts' numbers. I don't think he's thrown for over 200 yards yet this year. And he threw a pick. He's not running the ball like he did. I mean, he has 2 rushing touchdowns, but that's in the red zone. A.J. Brown has been on a milk carton, as Rich Eisen likes to say a lot, this year. That's
He's
not
right.
good.
Two games with like 170 yards passing.
Yeah.
Hurts. You're right. Interesting.
So now defensively, they gave up, 28 points. But I will say they had a bigger lead, and that was kind of a comeback by the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's pick them then. Let's pick ththese games.
You want to go to our picks?
What do you think?
All right, listen. Going into last week, Anthony was 11-5. I was 8-8. Cool. He finally won an argument. The Marlins are back in the wild card, dude.
Red Sox won today too.
Dude, Marlins are. Hey, watch out for the Florida Marlins, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think they'll make it?
We'll have to see. We will have to see.
It's gonna be tough.
Biggest false alarms of week 2, just to kind of go into, the Bills are not going to be bad. That's a false alarm.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not sure if the Bengals 0-2 that might not be
They
a
look
false
bad.
alarm. They look bad.
They look flat against both teams.
All right, the picks of the week. Anthony was 11-5. I was 8-8 after week 1. This week we both went 10-6 with our picks. Anthony is 21-11. I am 18-14. Okay, 21-11, 18-14. Here we go. Let's bring it up. Week 2, week 3. I'm sorry, it happened so quickly. We have our Thursday night game. Who wants to take chances? Okay. Giants head to San Francisco. The spread -10.5. People have no faith.
Wow.
Off the fiery comeback of the Giants.
That was insane.
That saved their season.
Yeah.
Down 28-7, they win.
That's why you sign a guy like Daniel Jones, man.
I said to Anthony on Sunday, I go, you remember you were arguing about how they shouldn't have picked up the 5th-year option and they put a bunch of money into this guy? And then Daniel Jones in the second half throws 3 touchdown passes, runs for 1, I believe, and brings the Giants back to one of the biggest comebacks in franchise history. So far, he's earned his money.
Yeah. All right.
Off 1 week. Last week 1, he did not earn his money. Does this carry over in a Thursday night, a short week for the 49ers who played a tough game against the Rams?
I think this
Could this be the upset of the week?
Could be.
Could this be the upset of the week? Would I dare take the Giants?
Would you?
Would I dare take the Giants?
The San Francisco Giants this week? You like that?
Here's the thing that people are forgetting. The Giants came back against the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm taking the 49ers.
Me too, but I think it's going to be close.
I think it'd be close. I think it'd be close, dude. I think it'd be close because it's Thursday night and people are tired. Okay?
Yep.
10 o'clock game, easy picking. First week of the year, Anthony is going to take the Dolphins. Dolphins host the 0-2 desperate Broncos, who surely can't fall to 0-3. Dangerous game. Will not be a blowout. I will say that. I say it's a 28-20 game. It's closer than people think. Fangio gets his payback. We ain't worried. It's going to be a pretty comfortable win. Not a nail biter like this past Sunday night. Not sloppy. Defense kind of holds Russell. But ultimately, Dolphins go to 3-0. Anthony's even pissed more because then we're talking about 2 on the cover after week 3. I don't even have to ask him. I know he's not stupid. So Anthony's taking the Dolphins.
Yep.
And that is that. Colts at Ravens. By the way, the Miami spread's only -6.5.
Well, you think that sounds about right just because they made it close at the end?
No, I just
Sean
think the
Payton.
Broncos being 0-2 is so desperate that it's Sean Payton. Like, it's going to be close.
I think
If they were 1-1, I would think it would be more of a blowout. The fact that they're 0-2, you go 0-3, your season's your season's kind of shot, man.
And Sean Payton, they'll play up to any competition.
They will.
Yeah.
But it's a payback game for Fangio, so that's
Yeah.
what's exciting. And Chubb. Colts at Ravens. We don't know if Anthony Richardson is playing yet, but he's looked great. He's looked like the best rookie so far.
Madden cover.
He could be on the Madden cover because he's marketable.
Yep. That's what they're looking for, dude.
Marketable. He's a marketable player. But you have to have the numbers. And if you put up the numbers, no matter who you are personality-wise, you're marketable. Colts at Ravens. Looking good for the Ravens, 3-0.
Yep. Got him, too.
Ravens, 7.5. I would take the Ravens in the spread there as well.
Wow.
Next game, Titans at Browns. No spread yet because the game just ended. But I'll tell you what, man. They fight. The Titans fight for Vrabel.
They'll be in Cleveland.
I'm going to go with the Browns on this, dude. I'll be honest. The Browns played sloppy tonight. They lost. They just lost Nick Chubb for the whole year. It's very sad. You hate to see this happen. He's a great running back. He's had the last 4 years have been great. This is actually a very big loss for the Browns, although they had their backup runner. He had a great game.
Yeah.
The Titans, they kind of I feel like they got lucky against these Chargers, man. But I think the Browns lost I got to go with the Browns here, man. They're home.
I want the Browns to win, but I'm taking the Titans.
Good. We got a difference here. I'll tell you what, man. If the Titans pull this off, which I kind of am rooting for them a little bit because, Tanny.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Browns, but I think
I'm rooting for the Titans. If the Titans win this, they're tied for first. They're like, we ain't going anywhere, Jags.
Yeah,
Don't forget
right.
about us.
You're right.
So this is a statement game for the Titans. If the Titans can pull off a winning in Cleveland, it's a statement win, and it lets you know that the Titans will be fighting for the division this year.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with they got 2 games against each other still. So they're in it if they win. Now, if they lose and they go to 1-2 and the Jags win, I don't know who the Jags
Texans.
Yeah, Jags have the Texans.
Yeah.
Jags are going to win. The Jags are like, relax. We're starting to see the AFC form. So this will be interesting. I like to keep an eye on that game. This is the game. We got the Patriots at Jets. This is a big game for both teams. Whoever loses this, it's shaping up to be like it's going to be a long year for one of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Which it already seems that way with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I
think the Patriots really have to come out like a 34-10. I think they have to put it on them here. Zach Wilson has been looking horrible, dude.
Reluctantly, I'm taking the Patriots.
Me too.
Only because I have to see Zach Wilson win one, and I don't see Belichick going 0-3.
He has 4 picks this year, dude.
He's never gone 0-3, and I know that the Patriots' defense is good enough to give Zach a hard time, and I don't think Mac is as bad as I like to give Anthony a hard time about, but I don't think he's a top 15 quarterback.
It says he's top 6 on this charts, bro.
I'll fucking get pissed too. I'm gonna take the Pats in that. The spread's -2.5. I'll probably I'll take the Patriots on the spread too. Wow. They win by 3 for sure.
All right.
Excuse me.
What do you got next?
We got Bills at Commanders. -6.5 Bills. I think the Commanders come back to reality, and the Bills kind of gain some confidence heading into their big Week 4 matchup. I'm taking the Bills here.
Yep.
I think they win a big one here. Yeah, now, would I love to see Washington shock the world? If Washington beat the Bills and went 3-0 and put the Bills to 1-2, what a crazy universe we live in. All of a sudden, Washington would be you would argue that Washington has showed up to be a playoff team.
Yeah, and then you're talking about Sam Howell Madden cover.
Sam Howell Madden cover.
That'd be great. Next Baker
easily.
Mayfield.
And then you're talking about Bills. Oh no, 1-2.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, yeah.
But I'm still taking the Bills on that.
I'm scared. I'm taking the Bills, but I almost don't want to because I do think if a team could come out of nowhere and beat the Bills, it's the Commanders. But
I'm not buying it yet. But I am buying that we got a Falcons-Lions one. I'm buying that Campbell and the Lions come back strong.
Lions.
So far we've all picked the same teams here. Oh, no, except Titans and Browns.
We have a big one coming up right here.
You think we're going opposite on here? Lions are going to come back. They're going to dominate. Falcons.
We have 2 big ones.
Listen, if Falcons win this and go 3-0 and the Lions are 1-2, that's a shocker. Spread's only -3.5, but I got to think Lions are going to win this one. Mm-hmm. Saints at Packers.
Packers.
You going with Packers?
Yeah.
Me too. That game was not good for me.
Yeah.
I'm taking Packers. I don't think what's-his-name has looked great.
Carr?
Yeah. He's fine, but he's boring, not marketable, not going to be on the Madden cover. All right. Our next game, there's no spread for that one, but I'm assuming it's going to be like a -1.
Yeah.
I think it's like a pick 'em almost, the Saints-Packers. Texans at Jags. Jags come out strong.
Yeah. Jeez, a lot of 10 o'clock games. Yeah.
It's -9.5.
Jeez.
Do I maybe take the Texans in points there? Maybe buy a point, give Texans 10.5. Could be closer than you think. Haven't seen Jags offense really open up. Calvin Ridley kind of having a shittier, slow week 2 in fantasy.
So good, though.
All right. Our game of the week, man. 2 0-2 teams. Whoever loses this is having a nightmare of a year. A nightmare of a year. The Chargers at Vikings.
Have we picked?
It's going to be a pick 'em.
Picked an upset yet?
Not yet. I mean, if I had to go back and pick an upset and change one of them, I don't have one.
Oh, okay. Let's finish it up. Then we might have to go back and change one.
What?
We might have to go back and change one. I got my upset. I'm picking the Vikings here.
You're taking the Vikings here.
Yeah. At home. Early game. Cousins is fighting for his eligibility, bro.
God, man. I just think like I mean, I just don't know. Can it just end in a tie?
It could.
You know what? I'm going to go opposite of you just for the hell of it.
Okay.
I'll take the Chargers. He takes the Vikings. But I'll be honest. This is the game I'm watching.
Oh, yeah.
This is the game I'm excited to watch. I think we get a shootout here, too.
For sure.
Like, we get the high-scoring game. I'm curious to see if they even have the under-over yet. 54. That's a lot.
Jeez.
All right. Panthers at Seahawks. This is an easy one. Panthers look like, to me, I mean, they look worse than Arizona.
Looks like Chargers -1.
Oh, that's what you're getting?
Yeah. So
All right.
What'd you say? Cowboys, Cardinals?
No, Panthers at Seahawks is an easy one, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Panthers look like some worst offense in the NFL.
Seahawks.
Cowboys, Cardinals, -12.5. Holy macro. The boys. The boys go 3-0. They stay at number 1 in the power rankings. Everybody's excited in Dallas. America's team is the team to beat headed into week 4.
Quick question. Very quick question. In the next 2 years, if the Cowboys don't make the Super Bowl, do they get Dion?
Wow.
That'd be awesome. That'd be sick.
Great storyline.
Yeah.
Great storyline. 2 years from now, Dion is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. Mike McCarthy out.
There is nothing more I would want that would make me root for the Cowboys, and I never have in my life. But where does Dion end up? That would be the perfect spot. Dion to the Cowboys in 2 years. Now we're rooting for. If I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm like, all right, I hope we kind of lose.
Yeah, dude. That's gonna be so. I feel like Dion kind of in the back of his head wants that.
He would do it.
Yeah.
That's
I
all.
feel like that's the only team he would go to.
Bears at Chiefs. This is
Chiefs.
just turning into more of a disaster for the Bears.
Could be some blowouts.
Anthony's wild card pick, by the way. Just wanted to remind everyone. Bears is going to fall to 0-3. Let's just hope that Fields shows some sort of improvement and excitement. Steelers at Raiders. This is a game I don't know, man. This is a game I don't know.
I was kind of rooting for the Steelers tonight because I don't want the Raiders to play an 0-2 team.
Yeah, because you hate those desperate teams. We have to do it.
I'm picking Raiders. I think
Sunday Night Football, too.
And if the Raiders come out and win, dude, they're 2-1. I think it's going to be an amazing game. Raiders got a little more rest. Kind of a short week for the Steelers.
I kind of got to go with Raiders on this, too.
Dude, the Raiders...
How's Devontae Adams? Is Devontae Adams okay?
Nobody's beaten the Bills this week.
Here's my upset of the week, by the way.
Raiders, does that count?
We're doing 2 Monday night games again next week.
I saw it.
I've never seen them do that before. Is this going to be an everyday thing?
Devontae's good.
Okay. All right, we got Eagles at Bucks, and here's my upset of the week, guys.
Yeah, me too. I'm picking the Bucks. That was my big thing. I was pumped.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I'm flipping it.
Dude, come on.
I gotta pick the Eagle. I gotta go opposite of you. I gotta gain a game on you.
That was my upset.
You want
of the
me to
week.
go with the Bucks too?
If you think, I want you to pick whoever you genuinely think is going to win.
I think the Eagles win, but I wanna kind of root for an upset because I
Yeah.
would like them. But I'll go. I'll let you go with Bucks. I'm going with Eagles.
Okay.
I'll go with Eagles, so I can gain a game on you. And then Rams at Bengals. You know what? I'll flip the switch on this and say this is my upset of the week, and I'll take the Rams.
Wow.
You gonna take the Bengals?
But how is that an upset, man? Because they're 1-1. Bengals are 0-2.
I guess the Bengals. It's -2. It's not that big of an upset. Are you going Bengals or Rams?
I'm going Bengals.
All right.
And that's the last. I think that's the last 2 Monday night games we have.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see, man. Those are our picks. Let me ask you something
What's up?
before we get out of here. Next week, we come into the episode. Dolphins win big, 31-14.
Okay.
Jets pull it off. Do you say I'm sorry?
Sorry for what?
For just not believing what I was telling you at the
No,
beginning
I'm not.
of the year?
No, because what I was telling you is that they're going to fall apart later in the season. I'm not going to apologize until we're in a tattoo shop and we're about to get I'm not
I
apologizing.
don't think either. Well, clearly I'm already safe. I'm not going to have to get a Mac Jones tattoo.
Why?
He's not making the Pro Bowl. And they're not.
If to be honest with you, that might be the only good. That might be the best part of the Patriots season is Mac Jones making the Pro Bowl. I think that's the most likely thing that could happen.
Listen,
And then we sneak.
the bet was you have to get to the AFC Championship and he makes a Pro Bowl, and mine was mine was AFC.
They have to win 10 games
and
make
Pro
a
Bowl. And mine was AFC Championship.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
It looks like the Dolphins could go to the AFC Championship.
You said with Tua?
With Tua. Yeah. It looks like that's gonna happen.
It's week 2. Dude.
I know it is. I know it is.
The Dolphins notoriously have been crumbling late in the season.
Well, because of an injury. Because of an injury.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't.
But what about next week if we're 3-0 and 0-3? There's got to be there's got to be some sort of repercussions of like, oh man, you were saying, me and my brother just think you're in for a big surprise with the Dolphins.
I still do think you are.
Okay.
Okay,
dude. You're a piece of shit.
Dude, when you were, it was hilarious when you thought that the Patriots were they had first, it was like 1st and 10. They were driving late in the game, 24-17. You got mad at us. You're like, dude, this is supposed to be my year. You guys had your fun. This is supposed to be my year. I'm supposed to be winning this year.
It was just annoying that, I mean, even Mickey D said it. Mickey D said in the press conference, it's like, I think our players will watch the film and realize it did not have to be this close. It was like too
so cocky.
No, everybody was saying it. There's more. It was just like it was closer than it had to be. We dominated the game up to the 4th quarter. That block punt was huge. It was a genius call that changed the momentum of the game. Mm-hmm. But even after the block punt, he throws a pick.
Field goal.
A block field goal. I'm sorry, throws the pick. And then that muff, that was so dumb. It was 3rd and 1, and McDaniels goes, oh, if we run the ball on 3rd and 1 and we don't get it, I'm going for it on 4th down. He lost 2 yards on that. I had to try to kick a field goal. Yeah. But it was just like, that was just, it was closer than it had to be. The game should have been over right there. You can't muff a fucking snap right there. Yeah, it was annoying. It was scarier than it should have been. But to come out 2-0 from 2 road games, how many teams can do that? LA to New England, 2 far road games against 2 teams that are above 500 or 500-ish over the last years. One of the quarterbacks also has a $200 million contract.
Justin Herbert's pretty good too.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the $200 million contract.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
You said that, and I said, and Justin Herbert's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I was just kidding.
Well, he is good.
Well, I was joking that Mac Jones was the one with the $200 million.
Oh, got you. Loser. One was one of arguably the 2nd greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
At home, we beat him.
Yep.
We beat the 2nd greatest coach of all time.
It didn't have to be that close. That pick to Xavier Howard was such a bad throw. It was disgusting. And there was another one that should have been picked too, or that similar play. When he threw out of bounds. It's a terrible throw. I don't know what he's doing, like making those throws. He does make some good throws. He makes some bad throws. But, you have a whole season, but this is your season. You decide whether you keep him or you don't. Mm-hmm. This is his audition year. And off of 2 games, as a Patriots fan, are you willing to pick up his 5th-year option? After 2 games? Yeah, because I was telling this earlier. It's just like it's because you have first 2 games they played a team that went to the playoffs, went to the Super Bowl last year, and a team has Super Bowl hopes this year, and they came within 1 score of both of those games, and they're competitive till the end.
Well, how about this?
That's all you can ask for.
In both those games, they had the ball, 1 for a chance to win it and 1 for a chance to tie it.
And that's the difference between Mac Jones and Tom Brady.
So after 2 games, this year you have to decide to pick up his 5th-year option. Do you not pick it up, or are you picking it up if you're the GM right now off 2 games?
Off 2 games, you're picking it up. Because he's only going to get better. And he's not going to.
So you think he's
my age? Imagine.
You think he's going to be your guy for the next 10 years? You rather not try to.
After these 2 games, I think so. Yeah.
To get one of the 5 guys coming out next year. There's like 5 quarterbacks. This is probably going to be one of the heaviest quarterback drafts in history.
I don't think they do that.
They do what?
I think they stick with Mac Jones.
If they're 6-11 and they have a top 10 pick, you say they don't draft a quarterback?
I didn't say that. You didn't.
Oh.
I didn't say either of those things. I don't think.
If they have a
I
top
don't think
10
it'll be
pick-
6 and 11. And I don't think they're gonna have a top 10 pick.
If they have a top 10 pick, do they draft a quarterback?
I think that they should, but I don't think that they do, just because of the Patriots and they're weird and the Belichick's weird.
Oh man. So over under 7 wins. You think they win more than 7 wins this year?
Yeah.
If they go 0-3, do you still think that?
It'll be tough.
All right.
They got to beat the Jets first. They got to kind of sweep the Jets here.
You got to beat the
That
Jets.
should be 2 wins.
All right, Pat fans, like, subscribe, hate me. You better hate me, because it's gonna be a shit talking show all year long. This guy trying to fucking compare Tua to Mac got me fucking heated. Unbelievably disrespectful. That throw to Burrows over the shoulder on that one play, that was a beautiful throw. Come on, that was some like Curry. That was a Curry 3.
Yeah.
He just kind of was like, and it just went right there, right before the other defender. Like, you remember that play? That was a fun play.
Yeah.
Right, that was right before the Tyreek touchdown. Remember that though? That was fun.
His best play was
Who, Tyreek's or Tua's?
Tua's best throw. The reason Tua got drafted was because that throw in the national championship.
No, it was because of his precision and his timing. He's really good
That
at.
throw to, was that Calvin Ridley?
No, that was Devonta Smith. Calvin Ridley's way before.
Fuck, you're right.
I know I'm right, dude. You don't think I've watched that?
I thought it was
play
Calvin
so many
Ridley.
times?
I did. I just forgot.
Bro, it's his anticipation. He's got great timing. Here's a new recommendation for YouTube watchers. It's called The Quarterback School. He breaks down all of the young quarterbacks' games.
Who?
It's called. It's
it's
a
a
YouTube
guy?
page called. And it's unbelievable. He breaks down what their strengths are and why they're good. It's actually really fun. He does it for Mac
Can you
Jones.
see the guy's face that does it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just John Gruden in disguise.
No, it's great.
So John Gruden used to do that, right? The same QB.
Yeah, but this guy breaks down the plays, and he was breaking down like Mickey D's play. It was fun. I didn't watch any other teams, but I see he does it for all of them. He does it for Anthony Richards, all of them, and he's just like, this is what Tua is the best. He described why each quarterback's good and what their strengths are versus weaknesses, and
It's called the quarterback coach.
quarterback. It's called the Quarterback School, I think. Let me look. I'll find it right now. Let me get the exact. It is.
QB school.
Yeah, it's with a guy.
Like yeah.
Yeah, backwards hat.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen one thing with him in a backwards hat.
Really?
Yeah.
It's called the Quarterback School.
The QB school, right?
Yeah, the QB school. which
244K
stands for fucking quarterback. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Like, comment, share. Let us know what you think. We'll see you next week. Anthony, say bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.